Visualizing Khe Sanh, inside Vietnam's toughest battle. Imagine being surrounded by enemy forces, with your only hope for survival resting on a small patch of land in the middle of a hostile landscape. That's what the soldiers at Khe Sanh faced during one of the most intense fights of the Vietnam War. The Battle of Khe Sanh was a long, fierce struggle that lasted from January 21st to July 9th in 1968. It took place in the northwestern part of Quang Tri Province, near the border with Laos. The United States Marine Base there was guarding a vital route used by North Vietnamese forces to move supplies and troops. Around 6,000 U.S. Marines held their ground against up to 30,000 North Vietnamese Army soldiers who laid siege to the base. The North Vietnamese wanted to overrun Khe Sanh to cut off the infiltration route and weaken U.S. influence in the region. The battle started with heavy artillery and ground attacks as the North Vietnamese tried to break through the defenses. The Marines responded with massive airstrikes, including B-52 bombers in what was called Operation Niagara, to stop the assault. The terrain around Khe Sanh was rough and scarred by bombs, with hills like Hill 181 North and South dominating the area. These hills were key because they offered good spots for artillery observation and defense. Control of these heights was fiercely fought over, as whoever held them could see and fire on the enemy from a safe distance. The Marines launched Operation Pegasus in April 1968 to break the siege. This involved coordinated attacks with infantry and air support, which eventually pushed the North Vietnamese back. Both sides suffered heavy losses. The Marines lost hundreds of men, and estimates say the North Vietnamese lost between 10,000 and 15,000 soldiers. The battle also reflected the complex relationship between Marine commanders and the larger U.S. military leadership, with disagreements over strategy and tactics. Khe Sanh shows how difficult it was to hold fixed positions in hostile territory against a determined enemy. It also highlights how the U.S. relied heavily on air power and artillery to compensate for being outnumbered and isolated. The battle happened at the same time as the Tet Offensive, which created a lot of controversy about its importance and whether it was a distraction or a strategic move. The fight at Khe Sanh was more than just a military clash. It was a reflection of the larger struggles of the Vietnam War, including political debates and media coverage. It demonstrated the challenges of fighting a guerrilla and conventional war in tough terrain, with strategic goals often clashing with the realities on the ground. The battle's legacy continues today, sparking debates about whether it was necessary and how it influenced the overall course of the war.